Hello and welcome to the Flix Forum podcast, where each episode we usually go back and we look at a Netflix original film in the order of release. However, today we have a special bonus episode from Netflix's original catalogue from 2025. This is a brand new film. This is an emergency podcast. This is me getting on as quick as possible after this film has hit Netflix worldwide. This is the 2025 sports comedy film called Happy Gilmore 2. This one is directed by Kyle Newacheck and stars Adam Sandler, Julie Bowen, Christopher McDonald, Benny Safdie, Bad Bunny, and Ben Stiller. I am Jesse. I am your host. Thank you for joining me today for this special episode. As always with our shows, if this is a film you haven't quite seen yet and you're super keen on checking it out, give us a pause and come back a little later on. I'm recording this in my car. I wanted to get this out as soon as possible, so I'm recording this parked in the rain, ready to go away with the boys for the weekend, and I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible. So here we go. Let's get into Happy Gilmore 2. Obviously, a sequel to the first Happy Gilmore and a part of Adam Sandler's big Netflix catalogue that he is creating. So we just kick our show off with the Fast Flicks, where we do a quick little summary of what the film is all about. So this one's about Happy Gilmore, once a pro golfer, has sort of hit rock bottom and he wants to support his family. So he tries to rekindle his passion and talent for golf. And he's got some villains and some competition along the way, would be a good way of putting it. So everyone I would suggest knows of Happy Gilmore. Has probably seen Happy Gilmore many times. How do we end up with a sequel? I guess the title in itself is pretty straightforward, pretty basic. It's the second film. But if we look around the world, in Portuguese, this is called Golf 2. It doesn't give you much context at all. In Chinese, it's called Golf Crazy 2. In Danish, it's called Golf Course Horror 2. That makes it sound like it's a scary movie. It's not at all. Hungarian, it's called Happy the Fluffy Golfer 2. I'm not sure where fluffy comes from. In Italian, it's called An Unpredictable Type 2. I guess that's in reference to the character. In Romanian, it's called The Unlucky One 2. Sure, I don't know. He seems to always have a bit of luck eventually. Ukrainian, it's called Lucky Gilmore 2, and in Vietnamese, it's called Happy Gilmore, the Golfer 2. So lots of mention of golf and playing golf and the character's name as well. So we go back to September of 2022, where Adam Sandler stated that he hoped to eventually make a sequel to Happy Gilmore, saying that he'd been creating ideas for what a follow-up film would be, while stating that the character would be involved in a senior golf tournament. We then go to March of 2024, where Christopher McDonald revealed a sequel was in development and that Sandler had shown him a draft of the script to read. Then in May of 2024, it was announced that Netflix had greenlit the film, taking over for the first film's distributor, Universal Pictures. Kyle Newacheck was hired to direct the film, with Tim Herlihy co-writing the screenplay with Sandler. In July of 2024, Nick Swardston announced that he would star in the film. In August of the same year, Sandler revealed Benny Safdie would also have a role in the film, as well as Travis Kelce, the NFL footballer. In September of 2024, McDonald and Julie Bowen were confirmed to be reprising their roles, with Bad Bunny, Margaret Qualley, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman also added to the cast. John Daly revealed that he had filmed some scenes for the film as well. Principal photography for the film began on September 9th, 2024 in New Jersey, coinciding with Adam Sandler's 58th birthday. A casting call took place in a hotel in Morristown, New Jersey, and filming locations across New Jersey included a country club in Bedminster, a burger shop in Garfield, a golf centre in Hackettstown, a nail salon in Maplewood, a beach in Middleton, a deli in Millburn, a French restaurant in Montclair, a cafe in Morristown, a public school in Newark, Seton Hall University in South Orange, Montclair Golf Club in West Orange, Verona Town Hall in Verona Township, and a Stop and Shop supermarket in Clifton. In November, it was revealed that Ben Stiller had joined the cast as well, reprising his role Hal from both the first Happy Gilmore film as well as Hubie Halloween from 2020, also an Adam Sandler Netflix original film. Dennis Duggan, who directed the original film, was confirmed to reprise his role as Tour Commissioner Doug Thompson, and filming did wrap on the film on the 10th of December 2024. It's hard. I'm not going to talk through every reference in this film, but obviously, if you've seen the first film, you would know that there was a character called Chubbs. So there were plans for Carl Weathers to return as Chubbs. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2024, and Adam Sandler said that they had a painful change. Carl Weathers had a massive part in the sequel. He said, "I would talk to Carl, and we were excited, and then Carl passed away. We had to rewrite a lot of the stuff, and even what the story was. We made a lot of nice references to how great Chubbs was in the movie. That was the biggest change," said Sandler. Netflix did a bit of cross-promotion for this film before it came out too. Netflix and Topgolf Callaway brand, so Callaway golf ball brand, collaborated on multiple promotional campaigns for Happy Gilmore 2, including releasing golf balls featuring quotes and images related to Happy Gilmore, and an updated version of Gilmore's Odyssey hockey stick putter as well. Topgolf locations will also host screening events over the first few weeks. At Times Square in New York City, the New Year's ball atop One Times Square was replaced with a giant golf ball too. So there you go, a nice little cool thing about this film. The film did premiere at the Lincoln Center in New York City on July the 21st, before hitting Netflix worldwide on the 25th of July, 2025. Now let's get into the crux of it. What are the critics and audiences saying about this film? Obviously, it's only been out for about 15 hours so far, but Rotten Tomatoes so far, it sits at 59%. That is rotten. That's on 34 critic reviews. Audience, a bit more positive, sits at 74%. That's on more than 500 ratings. If we go to IMDb, there is nothing on there yet. There's no consensus on IMDb from ratings, but Letterboxd, it sits at a solid 3.1 out of 5 so far on nearly 21,000 ratings, and it's been logged by about 23,000 people. If we go over to Metacritic, it sits at a 52 out of 100 from critics. That's in that yellow of their traffic light system of red, yellow, or green. That's on 18 critic reviews. And the audience, it also sits at yellow, a 5.1 out of 10 on 24 reviews. So you'd probably say audiences are liking a little bit more than the critics, but in saying that too, it's not too far off and very early to sort of come up with a conclusion. But this is why you're listening. This is why you want to hear my early thoughts on this film. I think I loved the first Happy Gilmore film. A lot of people in my generation absolutely adore the film. And alongside Billy Madison, this was the type of comedy that felt a little bit edgy when I was a kid. And these films in Australia in particular played regularly on free-to-air television. Like pretty much every second Friday night, one of these films were on Channel 10 in Australia. And the quotes from these films were regularly said across the schoolyard and things like that. So this film is a part of my childhood. So big expectations for this one for me. A lot of the early buzz around this one was positive. I was like, yes, yes, yes. But unfortunately for me, this is mediocrity at its best. There are very few laughs, and that's what I wanted from this film, I think. And it almost treats the audience with disregard at times, which I'll talk about as we go. So a little bit disappointing for me. Let's talk about the characters. Obviously, the film is called Happy Gilmore. We need to talk about Happy Gilmore. You get this quick intro about having him and his wife, Virginia, happy life, 5 kids, 4 boys, finally get a girl. And then there's this accident where she dies. And he retires from golf because it's too traumatic because he killed her with a golf ball. And he turns to alcohol and he loses his mojo almost because everything crumbles without Virginia around. She was that steady rock in his life. It's obvious that his kids mean everything to him. So when his daughter needs money to attend a dance school in Paris, this is that motivation he needs to rejoin the golf world, to prove everyone wrong almost. And I think we don't get the funny, angry outbursts and temper tantrums almost that I loved about the first film. This is more a middle-aged man coming to terms with where he's at. We get one little moment, but even like those outbursts, they're not. There's not enough time on it. That's what makes Happy Gilmore funny. So that's what disappointed me with his character, I guess. Virginia, his wife, who we know from the first film, I guess the biggest surprise for me was that, Julie Bowen playing this character, they killed her off in the first few minutes, and she does appear at various stages throughout these dream sequences and stuff, but I guess this has to be one of the easiest checks that she's ever cashed, to be honest. Shooter McGavin, everyone loves Shooter McGavin. Easily the highlight of this film. The crazy zaniness that McDonald brings to the role. It's back. I think it's probably a bit of a shame that his character is locked away really for the first half of the film, and I think this film would have been better if we got more of him throughout. So that was a little bit sad. Other characters, a new character is Frank Manatee. This is played by Benny Safdie. Obviously, the Safdie brothers have worked alongside Sandler before, especially with Uncut Gems. He's the villain of the piece. His goal is to set up this non-boring version of golf, which sort of plays true to, I guess, the golf world in the current stage, which we'll talk about soon too. Ben Stiller's back with his character Hal. Obviously he played the character in the original film, and I mentioned before too in Hubie Halloween, but a very large role in this film, and I guess overused. I think why people like that character is because short, sharp Ben Stiller, wow, he's on the screen, whereas he's a big character in this, and I just didn't find any of his moments funny, so that was frustrating. Oscar, played by Bad Bunny. I was impressed. This is Happy Gilmore's new caddy, and I guess he's able to hold his own with some comedic moments, so Liked that character. I'm just going to mention the last couple. John Daly. John Daly, the golfer. Everyone would probably know of him and his outrageous costumes and outfits and things like that. Like, I don't think there's any other golfer in the world that would agree to play this version of themselves on screen. What a legend. Like, he is great in this film. And the last, Haley Joel Osment is also in this character. Plays a side villain, a bad guy. Billy Jenkins, the character name, Haley Joel Osment. I see dead people. Everyone knows. I don't know. It just felt weird. Not really a comedic actor, and I don't know if that character landed or that casting landed. The director for this film, Kyle Newacheck, a familiar face to us on the Flix Forum podcast. He directed, this is going a way back. There's, I can't even remember, I'm not going, Adam Levine. It's not Adam Levine because he's the lead singer of Maroon 5, but the actor that's surname is Levine. He was in this movie called Game Over Man, which we covered on this show a long time ago, as well as the first murder mystery film with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. So obviously Sandler's one of Sandler's buddies. He's also done some episodes of Community, Workaholics, and What We Do in the Shadows too. So obviously knows what he's doing with the camera. All right, let's talk about some scenes. What are some scenes that I liked? What didn't I like in this one? We'll talk about the stuff that was all right. Steve Buscemi's back. Steve Buscemi's back. I love seeing him in a Sandler film. And the first time we see him, he's urinating in a letterbox. In a letterbox, not letterboxed. In a letterbox, the thing that you put letters in the mail. I thought that was great. I thought it was funny. That made me laugh. I did like Happy Gilmore, I mentioned before, turns to alcohol almost. And there's this wide variety of flasks that he uses to hide his booze. And he's working in a supermarket and he hides it in a cucumber. At home in the pepper grinder. It's in golf balls. It's in binoculars. It's in the cuckoo clock. It's in his phone. It's in the golf club itself. They were all funny moments when he starts taking a swig of some alcohol in that. I thought John Daly, I mentioned this before, I think they refer to him as Uncle John Daly, just appearing in the garage first up. That was funny, and then most of his on-screen time was good. Really bad at math, a few jokes about that. He drinks hand sanitizer, that was funny. And then like the kids and Sandler's kids in this film, the boys are all rev heads, a bit like Happy Gilmore's character, very, very aggressive, very violent with the one daughter. And then when Happy goes off to a golf tournament, he tells his kids to make sure they feed John Daly 3 times a day. I thought that was funny as well. There's this is probably the best scene in the film. There's this graveyard fight between Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore. There are so many good references to the first film through gravestones, those sorts of things, as well as that one line everyone loves from this film about eating pieces of shit for breakfast. That was great. And Oscar the caddy, I mentioned before, he was a good character. It's good moments. My favourite moment of his, I guess, was they were doing some training for this new golf tournament, and they're in a baseball pitching cage. He's just catching all the balls being thrown at him. That was cool. And Eminem's cameo, I've got to put that in there. I love Eminem. He did from the first film, someone yells out to Happy Gilmore, jackass, and Eminem does that scene. I thought that was good too. What didn't I like? I think Happy's first round of golf with Margaret Qualley and Andre, that just wasn't funny. Didn't like that. I mentioned before Ben Stiller as Hal. The idea of he's running this Alcohols Anonymous course, and it's meant to be funny that he's like, you need to call yourself Alkies instead of alcoholics. It just didn't land. There's this whole dinner scene with all the old golfers that Happy Gilmore goes to, and it's got so many golf cameos. I don't get any of them. Obviously, there's a lot from the first film, which is great, but then that's where we get is it Travis Kelce, the Taylor Swift's boyfriend, as this waiter character, over the top. I did not like that character at all, and I didn't like there's a flash with Oscar where they refer back to the first film with this bear scene as well. Didn't like that, but I guess good on Sandler for being friends with all these people. Is that all I can take out of it? I think the whole snipping ligaments in your body to make yourself a better golfer and have the swing or the same swing as Happy Gilmore, and have this old time flashback, and I don't know, that just was lame, wasn't funny. Chubbs obviously passed away, I mentioned before, so couldn't be in this film, but Sandler gets his son in there, and he's at a mini golf range like we see in the first film. At least have a round on the mini golf course. Like, I don't know, just felt like a wasted moment. He didn't really need to be in the film. Frank and Happy, they're in the car park throwing insults at each other, and I think he said something like, I got gingivitis from my grandfather. Like, just lame line. And finally, at the end of the film, Hal gets his end. The narcs come, and then we get that, of course, that one last homage to the first film with the villain or the bad guy running away with a crowd chasing them. I don't know, I just didn't like that either. What's the film trying to say? It's got a couple of nice bits, I guess. Like, there's some themes, some ideas. The idea of short form sport. Cricket in Australia, it's historically known as a long long form sport, 5 days, and you know, there's the 2020 version. You've got basketball with its 3-on-3, and golf in real life has that live tournament or whatever it's called. And obviously that's seen through this film with that maxi golf idea, and I guess that's that idea of traditional forms and sticking to the root of sport, that traditionalism versus innovation. And it's almost the opposite of what Happy represented in the first film with his hockey stick and overtaking the golf world. Family plays a big part in this too, that literal sense in the film of doing what you can to make money to support your family. And it's very much like the first film, I guess, where Happy wanted to save his grandma's house, and Happy wants to be able to send his daughter on a career path in this one too. And obviously too, this is a Sandler film, and it's an excuse for him to get his whole family and friendship group on screen too. So that always plays a part. Grief is in there too, the idea of struggling, Happy struggling with the loss of his life partner and this big hole that's missing, especially on special days, which is mentioned in this film, like Mother's Day. That's always a tough thing. And addiction too, the impact alcohol can have in taking away your focus and being your best person that Happy could be. What did I take away from this film? I think this is probably where the film let me down. I was most frustrated probably with the cameos and references from the previous film. The ones I've mentioned before, they're all ones that you pick up on because you're so familiar with the original film. But instead of believing or understanding the audience's dedication and love of the original film and just have the same characters play those scenes out or those lines or those moments and allow for that recognition, a lot of them were preceded or followed by this clip from the original film that really frustrated me. I was like dumbing it down for the audience. If you're making Happy Gilmore 2, you're not making it for a new audience. You're making it for everyone that's seen the first film and liked the first film. So that really annoyed me, I think. And that's probably what brought this film down the most for me. Just some questions, not really some questions, but some statements, I guess. This film has so many cameos that you'd have to watch it multiple times to pick up on every single one. The ones that did work, I sort of mentioned before. Steve Buscemi as the neighbour, that was good. Margaret Qualley, I didn't like that scene, but I do like seeing her on the screen. The Substance, the film that she's in, like mesmerising. That was great. Who doesn't like her? I liked Eminem. Bowen, the NBA player, that was great to see him too. I think he was in the Adam Sandler film Hustle too. And Rob Schneider. You get a Rob Schneider cameo, as you always do. I like that too. I mentioned before, Travis Kelce, like, that was woeful. As Post Malone, didn't like him. Eric Andre, I think he's probably proving to be one of the least funny people in show business. And apart from Rory McIlroy and a couple of the, like Jack Nicholson and a couple of the names, like I recognised Rory McIlroy. I didn't recognise the others. I knew them by name, like Jack Nicholson. And I had no idea, like there's podcasters, I had no idea who any of them were either. Just, I guess there's a lot of American-centric or golf-centric things that you need to see or understand while watching this film. Other than that, I'm ready to wrap this one up. We give the film a rating out of 5 on this show. For me, you probably picked up, like, I almost missed that man-child Sandler that shone through the original Happy Gilmore. Yes, I understand he's aged. Yes, I understand he's matured. He's lived a life, and that's well and good if you play that as the character, but still have those traits or those things that you really like from the original character. And it's meant to be a comedy, and unfortunately, I didn't really laugh. So the nostalgia, it's nice, but it doesn't make it a great film. So I'm giving this a 2 out of 5 on the low end from me. I know that's probably against the norm of what a lot of people will be saying, but 2 out of 5 for me. We're on socials. We've got Facebook. We've got Instagram. We've got X, formerly known as Twitter. The question I wanted to put out for this episode is the idea of, are they going to make a third Happy Gilmore? Because I think, like, in my head, I was like, oh, I'd love a sequel to Billy Madison. Billy Madison was fantastic, but you can't really have Adam Sandler going back to school again, realistically. And he doesn't really play that dumbed-down character anymore. So will they make a third Happy Gilmore film? Will Netflix get on board to maybe he'll have grandkids or something like that? I'm not sure. Let us know what you think in the comment for this episode. Other than that, thanks for joining me today. We do have a regular episode out every single Monday. We've got a back catalogue of over 450 Netflix original films on our podcast. So if you can find us, give us a follow, give us a like, download some episodes, get it some other people listening to us as well. We really appreciate it. As always, I'll see you Monday, and thanks for hanging out.